We knew it was going to be huge, but we weren't prepared for how huge it would eventually be. I mean, it was huge. Oh Mummy, the iconic Northern Irish sitcom ran for 10 seasons and captured the hearts and minds of not only our wee city, but the world too.
金鹅妈咪
Bringing us our first taste of local celebrities, Sinead and Siobhain. Catapulted into the spotlight, we'll chart the rise, fall and rise again of two of Northern Ireland's best loved personalities in this week's Behind the Craic. Oh Mummy was a iconic Northern Irish sitcom, ran for 10 years, 10 seasons.
Did you just drop your curry chip into your gravy chip, Sinead?
It tackled themes of social alienation, urban decay, sort of modern detachment through a very genuine lens at a time when this was really lacking in local film and television. And I think it was this authenticity that sort of made it so successful. When Sinead arrived for casting, we'd been casting all day, and I just remember this sound emanating from the corridor. This awful sound, even just mentioning it now, it makes my hairs on my back stand up. And I knew we'd found something very special and very real and very pure, and I knew right then and there she was going to be huge. With Siobhan, the main issue was if she would become typecast. So very early on in her career, a lot of people called it career suicide to play this role. But then, of course, after the first season, she starred in Candle as a Flame. It was a sort of romantic drama set in medieval France, two star-crossed lovers vying for control of their own lives, and she was brilliant.
Does this mean you don't love me anymore, Francois?
She was brilliant, and she won many awards.
This is the happiest day of my life, so it is.
And really established herself on quite a global scale with that role. And from there it just exploded, and it just kept gathering momentum. We knew we had made something very special and very poignant. I don't think we realised quite how culturally ubiquitous it would become. And of course there were many copycat shows that tried to recreate what we'd created. There was Oh Right. Do you want anything in the shop?
Oh, you're mad.
Oh Right. There was Dead On. There's been a really horrible accident. It's your son. He's dead.
Dead on.
Look, I know this is probably very hard to take in, but he's dead. It was a bus. It severed his leg and his artery. He bled to death in seconds.
Dead on.
We need someone to identify the body. I don't want to ask you. I don't feel that you're being pressured or forced into doing this at all. I understand this must be really difficult. Would you know of anyone else, perhaps another next of kin, that could possibly identify his body?
Dead on.
There was Are You Serious?
I fancy a bowl of stew and a pint of stout.
Get against the wall now.
Are you serious?
I'm deadly fucking serious, you bastard. But realistically, there was no way to capture that initial spark we'd created. And as I said, it was this authenticity that made it so successful. Lots of merchandise coming out, big deals. They both had a very successful music career.
What you do with my gravy chip? It's there, it's there, it's there. What you do with my curry chip? It's here, it's here, it's here. Make sure you get that sauce now. Don't forget about that sauce now. Make sure you get that sauce now. Don't forget about that sauce now.
Sinead eventually branched off. She married a famous Swedish director and began appearing in more sort of art house films, which was a whole different range for Sinead, and it was great to see. And for Siobhan, this was particularly difficult. They'd been together their whole career, and all of a sudden now Siobhan was alone, and she struggled, and it was hard, and she struggled. Can we just stop this for just a second? Is that? It just kept getting worse. One particular incident I recall, we found her outside Dublin Road Tesco, and she had consumed 5 litres of crisp and dry cooking oil out of the bottle, and there was a media frenzy. And we decided enough was enough, and we checked her into a rehab clinic. She stayed in that rehab centre for 6 months, and when she came out, she was a new woman. And it was beautiful to see. She opened the Siobhan Foundation, which helps people going through similar struggles that she went through herself.
I turn my life around, and you can do it too, so you can.
And it was beautiful to see. And for the first time in a long time, I saw a human again. And that's the business. It's a brutal business. You go up, you go down, you go to the chippy, you go home, you go back to the chippy because there's no dip in the bag, and or there is, but it's the wrong dip. And it's brutal, and it will destroy people. But when I look at what those two geniuses have achieved, I find solace and I find faith. And maybe this business isn't so brutal after all.
On next week's Behind the Crack, the film that relaunched Sinead O'Connor's career, where she plays a bean.
We might be beans, but with hearts too. With hearts too.
All this and more on next week's
Behind the Crack.